If you want different results, you have to do different things. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're going to be millionaires soon and have hundreds of millions in our lifetime. And I learned what the top 1% does in order to get there. I'll share the secrets with you. And if you want more videos on mastering your money, your mindset, your habits, and your emotions along the way, feel free to click subscribe. If you make about $787,712, you are in the top 1%, whether that's an individual earned income or a household income. To be in the top 5% of earners, you need to earn $350,000 or so, and that makes you in the top 5%. If you make about $194,000 combined or individually in a household in the United States, you are in the top 10%. And so I think that is really eye-opening because my husband and I, we're in that range. And so it's kind of interesting and eye-opening to think about how fortunate we really are. It also helps you to see that it is possible, especially if you are in a more developed country like the United States. To be in the top 1%, you typically need a high-paying position or to own a company, to have assets, or to be an investor. You also could do all of those things or a portion of those things. Typically, 1% earners are in something like medicine, law, business, they own their own company, or in medicine. They could also be in sales or specialize in something financially. I think the biggest lesson to learn with the top 1% or 5% if you're trying to get there is that they got in the right vehicle. And so a certain job, like being a teacher, won't necessarily get you in the top 1% right away of income. You can build wealth and you can have a lot of money if you live way below your means. And if you invest enough money in the stock market and you deploy those strategies, we're going to have hundreds of thousands just by doing that. Sorry, hundreds of millions. We already have hundreds of thousands just by doing that. But I think one of the most important things you need to know is that you need to get in the right vehicle. If you want to be in the top 1% or even 5, 10%, you have to know what that is and what vehicle will get you there. Because if you want to have an income of $500,000 a year, you have to get in a job that will get you there. Or you're married to someone and you both make $250,000. What job will get you there? I would also ask you to question, why do you want that much? Do you really need that much? So that's part of it. Sometimes we love a job or we love sales or we love business and love providing products and services to people. And that actually helps us make money too. Like Sarah Blakely with Spanx, she really wanted to solve this problem for women and then it made her a billionaire. And that was just a side effect, right? She did want financial independence, but she didn't necessarily need to have billions. But now she can have impact and help millions of women and other people around the world, which is a bonus. But ask yourself, why do you want that much money in the first place? So be careful. You don't have to be the 1%. Being the 5, 10, 15 isn't so bad either. If you want to find out how to get richer faster, this is the book I would recommend for that. It's The Millionaire Fast Lane. It's amazing, and it can help you find the ideas of how to get richer faster within 10 years. I also have book reviews on this. Feel free to check them out. There's lots of charts and diagrams that can hopefully help you learn the main concepts. So besides getting in the right vehicle or path to wealth, what else do the 1% do? And I want you to think about this, the 1 to 5% with habits and even just health. If you want to be a healthy person, if you go to the gym every day, you're in the top 1% of people who do that. Or if you're even somewhat fit or that go to the gym, you're in that top 1 to 10%. I'm pretty sure. I can look that up. So I want you to be a high performer. I want you to reach your full potential. And that's why we're looking towards the best of the best. What are those bars and standards so we can try to reach there? And even if we end up in the top 5 or 10 or even 20%, that's a lot better. And that's what I want for you. But what do they do? Let's look into it. Time management and knowing the value of their time is probably one of the most important things, right? We want to get in the right vehicle, but then once we do that, we need to know, how can we use our time? How should we be using our time? What habits, what is necessary, what is required? And so they're very strategic with their time. A lot of them wake up early. A lot of them have a time blocked calendar and they prepare the night before or the week before and they figure out, what do I need to do to get where I want to be? And I would recommend you do this even just for yourself. What life do you want to live? How do you want to be as a parent if you're a parent? What do you want for your kids? What do you want for your health? What do you want for your business or your financial life? And figuring out those main buckets that you care about, your friendships, your relationships, whatever. And then you can schedule it into your calendar. Like whatever tasks you need to do for your business, you can either outsource them so you can buy back more of your time. There's a book, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. It's amazing if you're interested in that. But you schedule out your day in a way that will help get you the results you want, right? If you want to have a good relationship with your kids or you want them to learn about a certain topic, you're going to schedule that in. If you want to be healthy and fit and feel strong, you're going to schedule in time at the gym or doing Pilates or going for walks or stretching or getting support if you need to and meal prepping and having your meals. You have to schedule it in and use your time wisely and in a way that will get you the results you want. Another thing that they do is they know the 80-20, the Pareto principle. 80% of their results come from the 20%. So they're really good about figuring out like what is their main talent? What is the main thing that they need to do that will get them the results they want, right? And so Sarah Blakely talks about this. She's like, what is your unique genius? She knew that she had a unique genius in sales and in product. And so she figured out, how can I do more of that? The creative side and the sales side instead of all the other business management side. And she outsourced that. So if you can stay in your creative genius, so she could work on the product and the sales, that brought more to her company instead of dealing with all these little things or big things that popped up that wasn't her genius. If she spent all that time on there, she wouldn't get the results she could have, and she did, by staying in her zone. They know about high performance. And so there's a book, High Performance Habits. Brendon Burchard, he coaches for billionaires and multiple millionaires, and he is a really great coach on this. And that book, High Performance Habits, is amazing if you're interested in it. But they know the value of these habits, of getting sleep, of getting rest. A lot of them wake up early, but they don't necessarily get 2 hours of sleep. Some of them do if they're building a company or if they're in that grind phase. But I know for me, I perform better when I get more sleep. That's one of the best things you can do. If you're feeling off, if you're feeling cranky, if you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling stressed, if you're having a life crisis for no reason, try sleeping. It can help you so much. And if you have kids as well, know that. Are they tired? Do they have enough rest? So going back to those fundamentals, even with eating in a certain way, I eat in the top 1%. A lot of them will eat in a way that gives them more energy, right? They know it's time management, habit management, calendar management, and also energy management. So let's add that in, energy management. I eat a ton of fruit and smoothies and more lighter things in the morning. And I still have like my protein and protein powders and stuff. So I'm getting adequate protein to build muscle, but I have energy. And when I eat more things, they like bog me down. It's so interesting. And so find what works for you that gives you energy. Some people really like having like a heavier, heartier meal or all that protein and stuff. And so go for it. Do what works for you, but know you got to master your energy. Because I went through lots of periods in my life where I felt tired and sluggish and drained or brought down by sugar. And it didn't help. And so how can you achieve high if you're feeling low? The 1% continuously learns. So once they're in their industry, they learn all about the industry. They learn about their customers. They learn about what they need to do. They learn about the people they're serving. They grow in other areas because they know that they're the bottleneck to their success. They know that if they don't learn, they're going to stay stuck. And so people who do the most personal development and the most learning and the most growth are the ones who rise higher. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's right-hand man, said this: those who keep learning in life keep rising. So keep learning, keep rising. So many people, even the top 1%, they spend a lot of their day learning and reading. Try it out. Action is really important. You cannot just talk about it or learn about it. Once you learn, once you figure it out, you have to try. You have to act. And they're really great at acting faster. I know I need to work on this, is that I have so many ideas, or even YouTube videos. I have so many videos that have not come out and they're just ideas. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really haven't posted everything that's been in my brain. And so they have a bias for action. And I feel like I do a lot of actions, but it's like I got to act faster and do more. They have a bias for action, and they know that when they act, they're also going to learn faster, right? You can learn in the classroom, but you learn even more by being in the field and by trying. They have a clear goal and a vision. They have this goal for their life. It's very clear. It's specific. You can't achieve anything if you don't know what you want to achieve. And you can't achieve it if you're not taking actions to get there. So you have to have a vision. You have to have a goal, and you have to set yourself up to get there. The 1% is constantly reviewing and optimizing. So they're constantly looking for what's going well, what's going right, how can we fix things, what's going wrong, what are things we can get better at, what we can improve on, where are our strengths. So they're constantly, I call it self-auditing. I'm constantly doing that in my life, like what's working and what's not, and then changing it. And so doing that often will help you to be able to get to a higher place. I even say this with relationships. If there's something that's bothering you, tackle it right away, and so that it doesn't grow or fester or become a bigger issue. Tackle it right away and nip it in the bud, and then you can move forward. They also have a very strong mindset and emotional intelligence. Tom Bilyeu talks about the emotional intelligence and how EQ is very important. Richard Branson, a billionaire that everybody loves and wants to be like, talks about emotional intelligence. I talk about, that's one reason I like teaching health and PE, because we can work on our emotions and our mindset and things of that nature and leadership skills. But that's what you got to work on. If you want to be in the top, you have to know that it's how you think. What you think, you become. What you think impacts how you act, how you feel, and it completely transforms your life. And if you're constantly emotional, if you're constantly getting stressed or like letting your stress rule you, you can be stressed, you can feel nervous, you can feel scared, you can feel fear, you can feel doubt. A lot of the most successful people, Layla Hormozi and Alex, talk about this. They still feel that, but they act anyways. They do it anyways. They do it in spite of all of those feelings. So you got to master yourself, your mind, your emotions. That's why I talk about it on this channel, and you will see yourself rise. Those are a few things that the top 1% does, and I hope that helps you to see like what actually is the top 1% income. If you want more videos like this, feel free to let me know, and check out this video on 10 habits making me a young millionaire. You got this.